You might already be aware that the United Kingdom is a country of countries. It is a union of the 4 constituent countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But how does this union work exactly? What is the relationship between these 4 constituent countries and the UK as a whole? So what do we actually mean by a constituent country? After all, by most definitions, the UK would be a country. It has a parliament, it has a seat in the UN, it makes treaties with other countries. Really, constituent country is just a term we use to refer to one of the fundamental parts of the UK. It's not a specific legal status. Constitutional law doesn't define exactly what it means to be a constituent country, or what form of government they have. Instead, each one has its own unique status with a different level of political autonomy. This autonomy is actually quite new. Different parts of the UK have always had different laws. But for most of its existence, all of these laws were governed directly by the UK Parliament in Westminster. But then in 1999, the UK Parliament granted self-rule to Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland by handing powers down to 3 new legislative bodies: the Scottish Parliament, the Welsh Assembly and the Northern Ireland Assembly. This process of handing powers down from the central government to more local forms of government is known as devolution. These 3 devolved parliaments and assemblies don't all have the same powers. For example, all 3 have powers over healthcare and education, but the Welsh Assembly only has limited law-making abilities, and only the Scottish Parliament has the ability to vary income tax. In all cases, the UK Parliament handles foreign relations, defence, and the Constitution. This is just a small selection of the powers these bodies have. There are far too many details to cover in this video. Wait a minute, how does England fit into all of this? So, unlike the other 3, England doesn't have its own government. It's ruled directly by the UK Parliament in Westminster. Over 84% of the UK population lives in England, and 533 out of the 650 MPs represent constituencies in England. For this reason, there has been less demand for England to get its own parliament or assembly like the other 3 countries. However, it's still possible that non-English MPs could have the deciding vote on a law that only relates to England. To prevent this happening, in 2015 the Conservative government introduced a scheme called EVIL, or English Votes for English Laws. This introduced an extra stage to the parliamentary procedure, which gives England's MPs the chance to reject a law if it relates only to England and the majority of them vote against it. However, it does not allow them to pass laws without the majority of the entire UK Parliament voting in favour. So the rest of the UK actually still gets a say in matters that only relate to England. In this video, I've explained a snapshot of how the United Kingdom works. There are already plans to give more powers to the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Assembly. And English votes for English laws is quite new and unproven, so there are still calls for England to get more autonomy. So the information in this video may well become out of date very soon.